What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Scarlet N Great. Thanks so much for joining me here today. It's our Sunday overreaction, our recap show, show that I'm very glad to bring to you. Should be out a little later Sunday afternoon. You can spend here with us. Wait, maybe you don't get to watch till Monday, but however you do it, thank you for spending your time with us here at Scarlet and Great. You've done a great job helping us grow this channel. Please make sure your notifications are turned on. And I want to ask if you could help us get to 5,000 subscribers so we can do a giveaway. We're going to give away a coffee mug, hoodie, maybe some more stuff, but that's something that we want to do. So subscribe to this channel. Help us get to 5,800, or excuse me, to 5,000 subscribers so that we can do a giveaway and more giveaways to come at milestones after that. I want to shout out my buddies John and Hugh that I watched the game with up at Section C yesterday. It's always good to meet Buckeye fans, Buckeye Nations. We got some good ones. We got some good fans always. Thank you again, guys, for the conversation. I have 5 big overreactions from the Iowa beatdown game yesterday. We had some good, bad, and ugly moments, but largely a really good team win. Some stuff to improve upon, but we have the overreactions locked in right here, and let's get right into them. Just letting you know, towards the end of the show, we will talk about the comparison between Michigan versus Iowa and Ohio State versus Iowa, as well as where is Jaxon Smith-Njigba and how long are we going to keep him out? Was he really hurt yesterday, et cetera, et cetera. But here we go. First one. Sign Jim Knowles to a lifetime contract. I've seen enough. I get it. Iowa's a terrible offense. This is a fantastic defense. They just know where they're supposed to be. The players that were bad last year are phenomenal this year. The coaching is so good. I never want to see anybody else besides Jim Knowles on that sideline. He just seems like kind of a gruff, middle-aged alpha male that's a perfect defensive coordinator. Jim Knowles, he likes to drink coffee. I'm sure he drinks it black. He probably goes, he's probably an outdoorsman, right? Probably he's going to enjoy some gun season coming up later here in Ohio. He's just that guy. Jim Knowles is who you want as a defensive coordinator. 5 sacks yesterday, I believe it was, 10 tackles for loss, and 6 turnovers. I can't remember forcing that many turnovers in a game. I really can't. Now, if we did, it was probably a MAC opponent, a preseason on non-conference, cupcake that you put on there to tune your guys up. I can't remember scoring or getting 6 in a game. Granted, I was awful on offense, but they still have players that could hold on to the ball, you would think, right? And that you combine a bad offense, you think, okay, they're just not going to get very many yards. Well, they didn't get very many yards, and the defense took the ball away and put the offense in an incredible position that they just didn't cash in. I'll say this, as bad as the offense was yesterday, the defense is so responsible for this game that if the defense is just getting stops and punts, the offense is probably punting it right back. I think the defense is responsible for probably three of those field goals at least. Like, the defense is making that game not look absolutely ragged at halftime. That defense is keeping that game from being like 10-10 at half, right? So there is that. Also, I want to get into this next point that I have no idea what in the world we are going to do about this and what's even real. Where is JSN? He limped off, whatever. I heard something from Austin Ward, said he saw him rejoin. The trainers are looking at his knee, not his hammy, and then he rejoined Heartline on the field. Could it possibly be due that he's not practicing, not getting a lot of contact, that he's not playing in games, so there's going to be some tweaks he's got to work out? Like, guys, people say, well, save him for Penn State. He's got to get reps. You get better with reps. If people say, oh, save him for Michigan. You want him to go out there cold, tweak something again? Let me back up. This is why I hate this. Now, granted, if he had a lingering hamstring issue, I understand slow playing him that back. But no Cam Brown yesterday. We just keep on every day. every game there's a new phantom injury. And you and I both know the guys aren't really that hurt. They have to get better. You say save them for the big opponents. They have to get better with game reps. You think the corners are fine? I think they need game reps to improve. And speaking of teams coming out flat, which did happen yesterday, the team just came out flat besides on defense. When you are a coach and you're trying to get the guys to be all motivated and not come out flat, but you keep holding guys out, that communicates to the 18 to 22-year-olds, hey, we don't really take this opponent seriously. I know you say you do. I know you say, no, don't overlook anybody. But when you keep just holding guys out, what else can it possibly silently communicate to these kids? They're not that dumb. They have to see that you don't take the game very serious, so why should they? And then you get the offensive product that you saw yesterday. So I'd love to see JSN come back. Even if he gets a little gimpy, work him out, get him back on the field, put him on a snap count, that's fine. But the kids need to play. I think we overthink things sometimes with our new science and technology and all that stuff's great. But sometimes football is about just being better than the guy across from you and having the best players on the field. And guess what? There's no sports science that says practice doesn't make you better, that game reps don't make you better. So maybe we need to actually get some kids, I don't know, some game reps. That's just my take. Number 3, overreaction. I tweeted this out. Tommy Eichenberg is the greatest Ohio State linebacker of all time. Do you disagree? Comment below. Who do you think's better? Give me one person, half a person. I dare you. Okay. You could probably name some guys. You'd probably say Chris Spielman, Randy Gradishar. Okay. I'm not a fan of, I saw a guy play great, now he's the greatest of all time. I hate that. So maybe this is hyperbole. I will say this. My next jersey purchase is going to be Tommy Eichenberg. He's earned it. I think 35 is the next iconic Ohio State linebacker football jersey. Can you at least give me that? That 35 is the next iconic? The kid does everything right. I mean, he went from a guy last year, I didn't think he could play on this team. Obviously, we see he could. That was coaching. To he better be a Butkus Award winner. I can't think. Who's playing better? I don't know. So I haven't watched all the teams. Comment if you know somebody who's playing better than him. I think he's Butkus Award winner. He's best linebacker in the nation. Can you give me that? Look, maybe he's not the greatest of all time, but I think you can make an argument if he continues because he does everything that great linebackers do. He's playing the pass now. He can stop the run, and he can get sacks. He's doing everything right. People look, Andy Katzenmoyer. Andy Katzenmoyer got a share of interceptions, and of course, we know he could get sacks. I think he had really 2 meaningful seasons at Ohio State, but he really made them count. I think the freshman season might have been even better than the sophomore season, but Tommy, I think Tommy, though, I don't know if maybe Tommy's better at this. I'm not sure. He could go sideline to sideline really well. I don't know how fast he is. I know he's probably not going to light the combine up, but he plays fast. I don't know what his 40 speed is, but his get to the ball speed is just fine. I love this kid. I love Tommy Eichenberg. He's just an absolutely amazing football player, and he better win the Butkus Award. I'm all in on that. Just to recap some of the great stats from yesterday: 5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 6 turnovers. Okay, here's overreaction number 4. I'm kind of just resigned to the fact CJ is what he is at this point. Listen, before all the 30 and below that seem to love CJ Stroud, I don't know if the new, like, kinder, gentler generation is just all about kinder, gentler people. Anyways, he is the best thrower of the football in college football. I truly believe that. Best arm talent probably in college football, and best thrower of the football, probably the most accurate thrower. That being said, you can't just do that. He's reminding me, do you guys remember Ryan Mallett at Arkansas? This quote used to go about Ryan Mallett. They used to say, Ryan Mallett makes 3 throws a game that only Ryan Mallett can make. He also makes 3 throws a game that make you go, what in the world are you doing? Now, CJ has never been that second part. He's made a throw or two every few games where that wasn't great. And you're like, I live with that because all the rest of the throws are great. But he has transitioned to where, like, game in and game him out, there's a few things where you're like, huh? Michigan State, huh? Rutgers, definitely, what are you doing? This game should have had more than one interception. Like, the one got called back in the third or fourth quarter, the slant or whatever to the end zone. That was bad. I mean, that was as bad. He looked and seen it was covered, looked away, looked back, and threw it to the guy anyway. I don't know if he just thought the defender was a nice guy and wouldn't pick the pack. It was really bad. I think there are some bad habits that have came home to roost. Last year, there's a few throws that people like highlight reel throws. The one I remember in the middle of the field, it looked like triple coverage. He just dropped it in a bucket, and I was like, I think he just got lucky there because there's a guy open underneath. I'm not sure what he saw. It's going to look like a great highlight, but he just got lucky there. But guess what? Now he's trying some of that same stuff, and it's not working. So, like the third quarter throw, perfectly. I think it was first play of the third quarter. What are you doing, dude? You're just making your mind up. Ryan Day is so good at divining plays for these guys that when that first read isn't there, he throws it anyway. And that's something he's got to correct. Just because you got good players, your coach draws up good things, doesn't mean the pass is automatically going to be there. He had guys all around him. He threw it. It was terrible. Now, granted, there were a few times where he made risky throws, and I was like, oh, no. And it was a great play, right? Because he is so good at certain things. The one he dropped into a bucket, I think, to Emeka, the corner in the end zone to Marvin. It just is what it was at that point. I mean, he don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not a really good football player, but he's not. People were acting like he's got this alpha dog mentality. He's disrespected from the Heisman, Desmond Howard. Like, I don't really see that in his personality, and I don't see it in his gameplay. This week, with all the chatter from the bye week of Hendon Hooker, and Hendon Hooker's in the conversation now for Heisman, CJ had a chance to come out and squash it completely. He had a chance to come. Michael Jordan put the foot on the competition's throat and take the Heisman race over. And instead, he handed it away. So I think the Heisman race is over. I think he's a great thrower. He absolutely refuses the ball to check the ball down. From my seat, you can see a few things. You can see the all-22 view. Iowa set and a lot of too high safety looks, taking away deep stuff. The check down was there a lot. He refuses to check the ball down on time and just take the yards. We know he refuses to run. He refuses to take the ball down. He refuses to just move the chains. He wants the home run, even if the home run isn't there. That's going to come back to bite him. That's the bad thing about having a great coach and a great receiving core and a great arm. You always think the big play's there. Just check down sometimes. And I realize there's a balance that you have to constantly look at that downfield development if you want to take it sometimes. But sometimes you got to realize it's not there and hurry up and check down. Or sometimes you have to have the ability to say, oh, it's not going to be there. Two things real quick. For those of you mad at the offense, CJ wouldn't check down. We couldn't run the ball, even on two high safety looks, because Iowa's front four is so good. And Marvin Harrison struggles to get separation. He's a great 50-50 ball catcher, but he doesn't ever really separate. So there is that. All in all, CJ's a great player. He's just not going to get to that next level. He is what he is at this point. If he plays like that against Michigan, I think that's a loss. He's just got to clean stuff up. He's never going to be an alpha dog. He should come back the next year and prepare himself for the NFL. But he's a great thrower. You live with certain things. Lastly, comparing University of Michigan, University of Ohio State versus Iowa. UM won 27-14, Ohio State 54-10. Obviously, you say transitive property doesn't work in college football. I know that, but it is a data point. You can't just throw it completely out the window, right? It is a thing to look at. It's not the tell-all, end-all, be-all. So I will tell you this, what it shows, and granted, I don't think Ohio State beats Penn State as bad as Michigan did, but what this shows, it shows that Ohio State's new age concepts of explosive offense is better than Jim Harbaugh's 2009. He wants to be 2009 Nick Saban, run the ball, control the ball offense, because what his offense does in Michigan is it makes it where you can possibly maybe explode. You control the game. You'll be up by a score or two come late, and you control the game, try to limit turnovers, and you can win by a few scores. And maybe things go really right if you play good defense like the Penn State game, and maybe you explode. Ohio State's offense is likely to explode. It's not just ball control, game control, and Ohio State can run the ball too. Again, Iowa's just a great defensive front. So there you have it. You have an offense that can explode at times versus an offense that is likely to explode. And that is the difference. The ceiling is much, much, much higher with Ohio State. And that is why I think, would be 10-point betting favorites right now. If Ohio State and Michigan played right now, what would your score be? Comment below what you think the score would be. And let me know. Give me a like on this video if you think Ohio State would beat Michigan today. That's all for me, guys. We'll see you in a couple days. As always, goodbye. God bless, and go Bucks.